Okay, this is Students for Life, and we are here with Danny and Krista, who are the sidewalk advocacy interns at Women's Pregnancy Options. And they're going to talk to us a little bit about what they're doing and their work. So to start out, well, thank you for coming, Danny and Krista. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, what you're doing right now in your life, starting with you?
Yeah, so I'm Krista, and as of right now, I teach in Old Town at San Felipe, and I'm just really trying to get involved, and I love doing volunteer work and whatnot, and then when I saw this pop up, I thought it was perfect because I grew up pro-life, and it's something really important to me, but when I stepped into the field, I saw how intense it really is and how important it really is to get out there. I've been hooked ever since.
And so I'm Danny, and currently I'm a junior in college, going to Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I'm home for the summer, and one of my summer plans that I did have fell through. This internship with Project Defending Life sort of just fell into my lap, and so as Krista had said, same thing. I've always been pro-life and been wanting to get involved more directly, and so I jumped at the chance, and I would absolutely echo that. It's been really eye-opening to see how much our presence and everyone's presence really is needed here in Albuquerque.
Was there ever a time when the pro-life movement just became more personal to you, when you grew up pro-life, but when you really felt called to do something more, or was there ever that time in your life?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've always, grown up pro-life. It's always been like a thing, we're pro-life, this is it. But in church and stuff, and with my family even, we don't really talk about it as much as I think we should. And I went and I saw Unplanned, actually, and that movie, it just changed me. It was like tugging at my heart, like I need to go out, I need to do something. So after seeing that, I followed a bunch of groups, 40 Days for Life, things like that, and I started going out to the gates and just praying myself. And then this opportunity was being advertised, and it's like God was just tugging me to do it. So it's been great.
Yeah, for me, I think it was two major things, both in 2019. And in January, I was able to go with my college with about 200 of the kids on a bunch of buses to the March for Life in Washington, D.C. And that was a really energizing experience, especially to see how many young people were out there willing to do something and demonstrate, stand up for their pro-life beliefs. So that was really a shot in the arm for me. And then just a couple months later, in March or April, I also saw Unplanned, and that also had a pretty profound impact on me, especially because it portrayed, I think, very, very accurately the suffering that women go through in abortion. Because prior to that, I had just been almost entirely baby-focused, which I think is primarily what we should be focused on, and that abortion kills unborn babies. But that movie really helped me to see how much abortion hurts the women. And so the combination of those two things really had me looking to get involved more directly, and I would say certainly helped lead me to this internship.
Okay, so now tell us about the work you're doing out on the sidewalk. Why are you standing out there for 6 hours every day, and what's the goal? What do you do? What's your method?
Yeah, so we're out there, morning, open and close pretty much. And our goal is to just try to reach out to as many women and couples as we can, even if they're just going in for birth control, littlest things. We just want to get out there, let them know that we're here, we can help them with anything. And that's, I think, our main goal, is just letting them know that we're here, even if, they're not experiencing abortion or anything like that. Whatever it is that they're going through, we can help them. And that's our goal, is to just help as many women, get them away from Planned Parenthood, and just drive them in a better direction.
Yeah, there are so many women going to Planned Parenthood for their services who don't even know about crisis pregnancy centers and all the free care that they can have. So our job is really just to let them know about that, which for me at least, it takes a little bit of the pressure off, that I'm not there trying to convince someone or change their mind or get into a debate with anyone. We're really just there to offer help and let people know about the resources that are out there for them.
Yeah, and as Danny said, like, people don't know, like, we do all this for free, you know, and it's amazing, and people look at us and they're like, what? Like, some people think it's like a hoax or something, but it's not, and we're just trying to get that out there.
So if, say, a woman was driving into Planned Parenthood and you successfully got her to stop, what would you say to her?
So I think our first thing is just asking, you know, what is she here for? You know, trying to figure that out, and whatever her answer is, we try to pinpoint her, you know, in the right direction, whether it be birth control is a huge one that we always get. And yeah, we don't offer birth control, but we do offer, you know, natural birth control. They can come learn about that, get to really know their bodies, and, you know, I think just finding out the goal as to why they're there and figuring out how we can help them personally.
Yeah, that's I'd say that's the main thing. Just make sure you're greeting them and joyfully, lovingly, and then just asking them what they're coming in for, and then offering them the free help that we provide.
And why do you guys wear the yellow jackets?
Oh, that's fun. So for one, it's for safety, to be visible out there, because cars come flying down San Mateo, and not everybody's looking, especially if they're whipping into the parking lot. But the more entertaining aspect of why we're wearing the big safety vests is essentially to get people to stop and talk to us, because the idea is that if we look less like some pro-lifer on the sidewalk who's just gonna judge them, and more like either a security guard or a parking attendant, something like that, they're more likely to stop and talk to us.
Yeah, it gives us that, like, professional look, you know, then we have our clipboards and everything, so, like, we are out there, you know, for a purpose, and we want to keep it professional, and I think that's the cherry on top.
What do you guys have in your clipboards?
You want to answer this?
The main thing is we just we're keeping track of all the interactions we have, just so we can help, because a lot of what we're doing this summer, since we're just starting that, is data collection, basically. So we're trying to figure out when people are coming in the most, what people are coming in for on which days. So that's one, just recording our interactions. And then we also do have a fair number of brochures and cards that we can hand out to people for various reasons.
And then too, like, the data helps us figure out, you know, who are our employees, who are our security guards, because we want to build a relationship with them as well, you know, like, we don't hate them or anything like that, we just want to be able to see who they are and, you know, be able to help them.
How many conversations would you say you have? I'm sure all over the place, depending on the day, but what's like an average number, more or less?
Gosh, I think it does depend on the day. I think on an average, maybe we could do like 5 to 10, maybe.
Yeah, because there are 2 driveways at Planned Parenthood, so depending on which driveway you're at, you get maybe half the conversations that day. So yeah, I would say anywhere from half a dozen to, yeah, if it's a really busy day, you might get a dozen conversations.
A lot, yeah.
Okay. So what would you guys?
There's a dog you can't see.
There's a dog.
No, it's fine.
Break for the
So
dog.
friendly.
Does he just like us? He's not gonna leave? Okay.
Come on, Bubba. Come on.
Yeah, let's see.
He wants to stay with you, Krista. He wants to go home with you. Oh no. Can you find your way out?
There you go.
Oh, no, you're fine. Oh, he made our morning. So sweet.
It's a cute dog. Anyway, back to the serious question. Why do you like dogs? I'm just kidding. Cats are better. I won't go there. What have you learned out on the sidewalk, would you say? It's one of the biggest lessons so far. Last month.
That's a hard one, because I think we've just learned so much.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been kind of like overwhelming how much we've learned, you know. I think just the experience overall, like being out there and like talking to these women, especially on abortion days, you know, when they come in, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, I can't find the words for it. But
Like learning better about their situation, maybe like where they're coming from.
yeah, and then I think too, just learning that it's not hard for everybody. You know, we have some girls who come in and it's like, oh, it's no big deal, I'm getting an abortion today. And like for me, that was like the biggest, like, what? You know, because it's a huge deal, and seeing that not everybody sees it that way that was hard.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been something that I've learned as well, just seeing one, how many people there are coming into Planned Parenthood, how much of a business they have, like you said, the wide variety of situations and emotions that women have when they're coming in. Some people are just so nonchalant about what they're doing, and so unafflicted that it's almost shocking. And other people are clearly more conflicted and uncertain. But yeah, that's definitely been one big learning thing. Another thing I was going to mention, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about, keeping track of our interactions and that sort of thing, is we've been able to pinpoint a little bit better which days Planned Parenthood offers which services. Like, so we found out that at least currently it seems like every other Thursday is a day that they're doing abortions, which prior to this I think we didn't know. We thought it was just Tuesdays and Fridays. So it's been helpful for learning and kind of scouting out Planned Parenthood as well.
Yeah. And what keeps you said so many women just it doesn't mean anything to them. What keeps you just like hopeful and motivated still to like go back out there, even though it may seem discouraging? You know, just
I think, as silly as it sounds, just the support we get from the cars driving by, you know, when they and like we'll get like a big wave and stuff like that, and that it like gives us little boosts of hope. I think, especially, you know, on slow days when we haven't seen anybody, we still get these cars that are like, thank you for what you're doing. Or we even have people who come out and they give us water, or you know, snacks, umbrellas, you know, little things. And even, you know, those things, they seem so little, but for us, I mean, they mean so much, and it's honestly what keeps us going, especially when this heat, you know, and it's draining and it's a slow day, you know, we're getting flipped off like crazy, and then we have these little, you know, cars that are on our side, and it means a lot.
Yeah, it's an emotional boost, and it's reassuring to see that there is a large pro-life community here in Albuquerque, because a lot of the time it seems like everything just goes the opposite way. So it's good to know that there is support from the community. Also, I'd say something that keeps me out there is, you know, even if 9 out of 10 people we talk to are not interested or don't care about what they're doing, don't care about the help we're offering, you know, most days there will be at least one girl, for example, who's coming in just for a pregnancy test, and she doesn't know that she could get it for free over at Women's Pregnancy Options. So being able to redirect even, you know, a few people a week, it really helps me, at least, to remember that the work we're doing is reaching people, and even for those people that we don't redirect, we're often able to hand out information so that they can, you know, we can hopefully plant the seeds that will in the future.
They find it in their car later, like, what is this? And stuff.
Exactly.
You never
So
that kind of transitions into the next question, which was, what was the hardest part? Are there any, maybe you already answered that, but are there any difficulties you didn't expect?
I think a big one, well, we did expect it, but the security guard, you know, there are days that he's like really on us, and it's so frustrating, and you know, it's kind of like we're going back and forth, and we're trying to build a positive relationship with him, and then he's like just making it a little difficult sometimes. But you know, I think that was something that I really didn't expect. Like, I knew it was going to be hard, but with him, you know, coming up to us and stuff all the time, it's been a learning curve.
Yeah. Also on a purely physical level, after the first couple days standing out there, my feet and legs have never hurt so badly in my life.
Yeah.
And I think after a week or two, you kind of get used to it.
Right.
But the first couple days were brutal.
So what do you hope, like what's your kind of dream, your hope for pro-life Albuquerque, and what can pro-lifers listening do to help achieve that?
I think one dream for me is to be able to keep this internship program going year-round, not just during the summer, and eventually to be able to have coverage outside of Planned Parenthood around the clock every single day that they're open, which is, we have a ways to go, but I'm really convinced that there are so many pro-lifers who want to get involved, who want to do something, and heck, if someone like me can do this, I'm convinced anyone can do it. So one dream for me would be able to have sidewalk advocates out there every single day for as long as Planned Parenthood's open, and eventually shut them down.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my biggest, dream and goal is to just shut them down here in Albuquerque. They did it in Cruces, we can do it here. That's my biggest thing. And then I think too, another thing that I'm really passionate about is just getting the pro-life community together. Like so many people are like, oh yeah, I'm pro-life, but don't do anything about it. And that was me for like the longest time.
Yeah, me too.
And like I think if we just all talk, get it out there, like let's come together and we're the pro-life generation, so let's prove it,
Yeah, and as far as just something that anyone who's pro-life and is wondering, man, what can I do? I'd say the first thing, probably the most important thing you can do is pray. Maybe just come out for an hour a week to Planned Parenthood or to Women's Pregnancy, to Southwest Women's Options, the other abortion facility, and just commit to coming out and pray for an hour a week. Prayer is really the most important thing we can do, and having any presence at all on a sidewalk, it doesn't have to be sidewalk advocacy, just even praying outside can really be helpful, especially for women who are still conflicted about whether or not they're going in. There are plenty of stories of women who were going to go in for an abortion, but they weren't sure, and they prayed, God, give me a sign. If there's someone out there with a sign, or someone out there waiting to talk to me, I'll take that as your sign that I'm not supposed to do this. And then sure enough, there's someone out there just holding a sign praying, and that was enough to save them from making a terrible mistake. So just even get out there, pray, tell your friends.
That's not hard at all to go pray on the sidewalk.
It's something everyone can do.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah, and you may not realize it, but going out there and praying, like, you're making a huge difference. And you never know what's going through someone's mind as they pass by and they see you guys praying. So
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Right. Because God's going to be the one to shut down these abortion clinics anyway.
Amen.
It won't be us. Okay, last question. What are your future goals? Like your personal future goals?
I think my future goal, since I've been so involved with this and stuff, I just really want to get, the church community, the school communities, just involved in pro-life, like, I don't know, maybe if it's just an unplanned showing, or if it's, signing up for 40 Days for Life and, sticking with it, because that's kind of difficult. But, any little things to just get people out there, I think is so important. And that's been building, especially since I've been doing this internship. Like, I'm so passionate about it, and it's something that I really want to see happen. So I think that's huge. That's probably one for me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And especially the past month or so, seeing the wave of activism that's kind of engulfed the country for a variety of reasons. We're seeing how when people are all of a sudden just kind of sparked into action to demonstrate, to do something about what they believe, you can have a powerful impact, as we're seeing. And so I think it's the exact same thing with the pro-life movement. We know that there's a real substantial pro-life community here, and exactly like you were saying, Krista, if we can get that mobilized, we can really make a difference, and I'm convinced we can end abortion here.
That's a very good note to end on, because we got a lot of pro-lifers here, but we all need to actually, sacrifice some time and get it done and get out on the sidewalk with you guys. And we will. So thank you, Danny and Krista, for coming outside to talk to me. And best of luck on your work out on the sidewalk. We'll be praying for you, and those of us that can will come visit you.
Thank you.
Spend time with you on the sidewalk.